Hello. Well, you all settled in? Right, then we'll begin. My name is Alfie. Well, I suppose you think you're going to see the bleeding titles now? Well, you're not, so you can all relax. My name isn't Alfie, and I'm not a young Michael Caine, although that was a very good impression, right? My name's John Mill, and I'm a hypnotherapist, counsellor, teacher, strategic interventionist and an author. Now, the reason I began as Alfie was because I had a connection with Alfie, with one of my human needs in my life, and I'll tell you a bit about that later. But perhaps we can explore today something about relationships and people. If you're a therapist and you're interested in doing some relationship counselling, this will help you. If you're just a normal person and you want to learn a little bit about your relationship in your life, hopefully we can teach you something today. But it's not just about relationships. It's about when you can look at someone and just almost see their life script playing out before you. You can almost work out where it's all coming from and why it's happening. And if you're a therapist, that's a really handy tool to have. So I'd like to explore, first of all, some human needs. Now, this stuff about psychological human needs has been going on and around for years. But I'd like to educate you a bit on it if I can, and teach you a bit about it, and maybe get you to explore yourself a little bit. And I want just to explore in the beginning just 4 of those human needs, which are certainty, uncertainty, significance, and the need for love and connection. And I'd like you to think about what one you lean towards in your life and how it plays out in your life, but also people around you, people that you know. So the need for certainty is in our lives because we need to know that everything is running smoothly, safe, we're healthy, perhaps we've got money coming in, we've got a steady job. Maybe we need to make sure that our body is how it's meant to be. Maybe it's that our relationship is good. Maybe that our children are okay and healthy. The need for certainty is that we don't want nothing to really go wrong in our lives. We've got a roof over our head, we've got money coming in, we've got food on the table. That need for certainty is always there, that routine. But then certainty can sometimes become a bit boring. So we also need uncertainty. You will have heard that variety is the spice of life. Impulse, spontaneity. You all have an inner child in you that will occasionally say, why don't we do this today? Why don't we just go out and do this today? Just like that. Uncertainty. It brings fun, creativity. But also there is uncertainty in that not knowing that things can go wrong in your life. Things can just happen on some idle day and everything falls apart. So you crave that certainty again. Then the need for significance. How we feel significant in our lives. Who likes you? How many likes do you have on Facebook? How many friends do you have? Why do you need people to like you? Where do you feel significant? Maybe you feel significant in your job. Maybe you feel significant as a partner, a breadwinner, a parent. Where do you feel significance in your life? And who makes you feel significant in your life? We all have a need to be liked. I even have a need right now for you to like this, don't I? So where do you find that you need significance in your life, and where do you find it? Also, the other need of love and connection. Think about how we have to have love and connection somewhere in our lives. What do you connect to? Some people connect to one direction. They want to be in love with Harry Styles, or they want to be Harry Styles. Some people connect to motor racing or a football team. You get these guys wearing the football team outside Greg's. Or you could be connected to God. What about that? Connected to God because you can go into that church, into that group and feel that love there. I, once in my life, was connected to Michael Caine, Alfie. Why? Because at one point in my life, I went through a bad time in my relationship and the relationship ended. And I couldn't really cope with being alone. I felt very insignificant. So I started to lean towards being Michael Caine and Alfie. Free spirit. Goes around, sees lots of women, does his own thing. I don't need a woman, I thought. I'll be fine. I'm Alfie now. I changed how I felt just by connecting with Michael Caine. And then I felt significant from it. I learned all the lines from the film. I also once connected to an actor called Mickey Rourke. I don't know if you've heard of him, but back in the day he was in a film called 9.5 Weeks. And he had a very mysterious, dark character, a very sexual character. And at that time in my life I decided I was Mickey Rourke. So the hair went up, the clothes changed. I started to dress like I was in films like Angel Heart. Everyone probably thought, what's he dressing like that for? But I became him. I connected to him. It gave me a feeling of significance in my life when I needed it. Where do you lean towards in your life? Who do you connect with? Maybe it's your partner. Hopefully it's your partner. But who else do you connect with? Who do you need love from and who do you give love to? So think of it, those 4 needs. Now they all sound very good, but imagine these 4 needs being met in a problem. So let's think of a couple. Let me make up a couple. I've got a man of about 25 and a woman a similar age. They've been living together and they've had a child. Okay? They've been living together, say, for a couple of years now. Child's about 2. Man's going to work, working late, woman's staying at home. They've started to squabble. The reason they've started to squabble is, even though the guy is very good looking, seems to be very confident, he started to worry about what his wife's up to in the day. Started to become very jealous of her. Started to worry about who's she talking to. He can't always be around. He's feeling a bit uncertain about his relationship. The wife, however, or the partner, she's struggling with all this because he comes home acting crazy. So she starts to offload on her mum or her sister. She starts to talk about how nutty he's been. And this thing starts to happen where he comes home and acts in a certain way. What have you been up to? What's going on? They argue. I've been up to nothing. They argue, they row. He storms off, she phones her mum, they have a chat about it. It calms down. He comes back and says, sorry, I'm sorry I did it again, I don't know why I'm like this. She gives him some love. And this kind of cycle just keeps happening. So think it from the guy's point of view. He's working all day, he hasn't got a lot of contact with his wife. They've just been doing the kind of usual safe things in their life. He's not feeling very significant with her. He feels significant as a dad because he comes in straight away, connects with the child gives him love immediately, 100% love. But his partner's tired, she just wants to go to bed and sleep. So he stops feeling significant. He starts to worry about her, who's she seeing, what's she up to. He feels very insecure. He feels uncertain. So now he's meeting some needs. He's meeting the need of certainty in that nothing's ever going to change. It's just the same, but that routine he's struggling with. He's meeting uncertainty every day. What's she up to? Who's she phoning? He's checking her phone, he's checking her Facebook. What's going on? He's feeling significance. And the way he's feeling significance is when he comes in, he starts ranting and raving. Aggression brings you significance, doesn't it? You scream and shout. Who takes notice of you? And also, he feels connection as well, because when he has this moment, he connects with himself, feels sorry for himself, storms off. And then when he comes back, she gives him love and connection again. So he's getting 4 needs met, 4 psychological needs being met with this problem. Think of her. She wants certainty in her life, certainty that it'll be normal. But she also is meeting certainty with her life just playing out like this, and she's almost certain that most nights he's going to come home and do this again. She has uncertainty. Where's my relationship going? What's happening? Does she feel significant? No, she doesn't feel significant. So where does she seek it? She phones her mum or her sister, and they say, he's nuts. You're all right. You're fine. Don't worry, we're there for you. Love and connection too is met here. So this couple are meeting 4 human needs each and still having the same problem. And there's a way we can break that. Also, think about someone just on their own struggling with depression. How certain does depression feel? Just every day you wake up with the same certainty that nothing will change. You have hope and then you have despair over and over. Someone with depression often craves a routine, and that routine may be just staying in bed, just not going out, not doing anything. How about uncertainty? The uncertainty that is scary. What could happen with depression? And then what about significance? Sometimes people with depression get very angry. They go from sadness to anger. They might take it out on someone close to them. They might scream and shout. They might have a row with someone that they don't even know. That feeling of anger brings them a feeling of significance. You don't understand what I'm going through. And then what about love and connection? Sometimes they withdraw completely from everyone and go within. They play what I call the oldest indoor sport of feeling sorry for themselves, and rightfully so. But they connect within. They feel sorry for themselves for what's going on and how can they change it. And they connect with themselves, give themselves love. And this cycle of depression continues, because sometimes they won't reach out to someone else, connect with someone else. They just feel that moment within. What about someone struggling with a trauma? Maybe a child has died in their life. A young child. It wasn't their fault, there was nothing they could do about it. What would they crave in their life? What about certainty? Because for them, uncertainty, a child dying when they didn't expect it, just changes everything, doesn't it? They start to crave certainty. And they will build a set of rules in their model of the world to keep everything the same. They won't want to go to a nightclub tonight or just go to a pub like that. They won't want that spontaneity in their life, because that will bring fear to them. And also the ones that they love and connect with, they will keep them very close. Alone they might feel very vulnerable, and they might keep asking their partner, are we okay? Are we alright? Do you love me? Because they need that certainty. Because someone that's had trauma like that might feel that everyone that loves me will leave me in the end. So they can't just have fun and happiness. They're struggling with it. If someone's struggling with their weight, they may have the certainty that nothing will change. But they have that certainty that every day they can eat. If they're struggling with their emotions, they're feeling sadness, what do? Bury those emotions with food. They find certainty in food. I'll eat this, I won't feel this. for a little while anyway. The uncertainty is, I don't know how I'm going to get out of this. I don't know how I'm going to change my body. What's the biggest thing people struggle with weight loss? When they lose some weight, it scares them. They become uncertain. They go, well, I can lose a stone, but beyond that, there's an amount where they become very frightened. And what do they go back to? The certainty that it will never change. And they feel significance because they too can get angry, upset. They can feel significance with food. They can build it into their identity. This is who I am. You know, we've all heard of the jolly fat person. And we know that that's not true. But they could become the person that is always fun. That's the role they'll play. When you go out with them, oh, she'll come along, she's a good laugh. But inside she's sad. And sometimes people that struggle with their weight need to connect with others rather than themselves. They don't want to connect with themselves. They want to forget themselves. So what they do is they have friends around them and love, and they connect with other people rather than within. So sometimes you're meeting these needs, but one need stands out. What need do you think that you lean towards in life? Do you lean towards certainty? Do you like spontaneity, risk? Do you lean towards always feeling significant? You know, someone puts something on Facebook. I've been on holiday, I'm on holiday here. And you go, oh, I've been there, I went there last year. Why am I putting this? Because I need to feel significant over them. Where do you find significance? Do you lean towards it? And what about love and connection for you? Do you connect with a movie star, or the Queen, or your partner, or food? Where do you find it? Really think about also what needs, if you have a partner, do you meet in your partner? And what needs do you not meet? Do you make your partner feel significant every day? Do they feel your love and connection with them? Do you bring uncertainty and fun and impulse to your relationship? Do you bring certainty, loyalty? Is it stable? What needs do you not meet in your partner? Also, all relationships have an emotional spectrum, okay? And we have to have light emotions and dark emotions. Think of this. The light emotions in a relationship will be loyalty, cooperation, consideration, and serving others, serving your partner. The dark emotions will bring passion, aggressiveness, defiance, sexual passion. In your relationship, does it feel light or dark or a bit of both? See, the light side will make the relationship work and keep it stable. And the dark side will make the relationship have passion and uncertainty. Think about it in your relationship. Where do you like to take risks in your relationship? Do you take risks in your relationship? Or do you seek risks elsewhere? Do you like your relationship to be very, very safe, very, very stable? I've heard people say to me, I couldn't ask my wife to do that, or I couldn't ask my partner to do that because I love them too much and that's too dirty. So they're kind of, in the sexual side of their relationship, keeping it very safe. They're not exploring that passionate side because it becomes just very loving, like they're a brother and a sister almost. Think of it like this. Say you've got one person at home, just for example, say the woman or the guy at home with a child, and the man or the woman is out working all day. So we've got one partner out working very, very hard all day, coming in late again. The other partner's at home looking after the children. You end up with a very kind of light emotion in a relationship. It's very safe, it's very loyal, but the darkness isn't there. Now, if one partner comes home and the other one has set up an evening where the kids have been taken off with the parent and they've got a night off, and one partner's laying in bed, or there's rose petals leading to the bed, and some passion's going to happen, then it sparks that off, that dark side. But what if there's a note left and they're going to go on a date and the other partner doesn't know about it? There's just a note left on the bed. What about that? It brings that dark side back up. Think about your relationship. Do you lean towards the light side, the loyalty, or do you lean towards the dark side? And where do you try to find that darkness in your life? Because sometimes in a relationship it's very certain, it's very stable, but someone might go elsewhere to find that kind of passion. They might have a band that they belong to. You know, they might go and play in a band, or they might go and sing, or they might go and do something of an evening that will bring that powerful feeling up for them, then go back to their stable, loyal life. Sometimes people change their values to get that risk. So you'll get in a relationship a very certain, safe relationship, but that feeling of just safeness becomes boring. So one of the partners will take a risk and have an affair, because that feeling might give them a feeling of significance in that other person, although the affair it's not real, you know. And I always think that affairs are not real, because if someone has an affair, they seek significance in that other person, but that significance that they feel there is not real, because they show them the best side of themselves for about an hour, and then they go back to their life and they pretend to be this person, don't they? But they're meeting a need there of uncertainty and that darkness. And that's how things can play out sometimes in a relationship. So how can we transform relationships? And also, how can we interrupt people's patterns? Because remember, if you're meeting your needs in a problem, 4 needs being met constantly in a problem, this can go on for years. But we can interrupt this pattern by looking at some of the other needs and changing and shifting people into a different pattern. Remember, for me, when you're doing something that's not going right, it's just a bad strategy, just a bad plan. And it's my job as a strategic interventionist, interrupting myself there, strategic interventionist, to interrupt that. So if you're interested in relationship counselling, or you're interested in other courses that I do, which is a weight group hypnotherapy masterclass, or coming very soon, a children's counselling and hypnotherapy masterclass, or if you're just interested in your own relationship and you want to learn something about your relationship and how you can change it, this coming class on existential relationship counselling can help you. You don't need to be a therapist. You can come along and learn about yourself and your partner. So if you're interested, you can click the web address below, and it is www.dreamseller.co.uk. And then, as Alfie would say, you can find out what it's all about. Thanks for listening. Bye.